Hi there, Crystal Thompson here. Welcome back. Today I have the collaboration between Simon Says Stamp and SugarPea Designs. This adorable stamp set is called Shiver Me Timbers, and we're going to be doing this card with some DIY stencils. True story, all you need is some extra cardstock. So let's get started. So as mentioned earlier, we are going to use the newest release, SugarPea Designs, Shiver Me Timbers, use the little pirate and the cute little I think it's a little monkey and a little bird. You're gonna need some cardstock, and I'm just using stuff that I have pre-cut before, and I'm not using some distress oxides. To begin, we're gonna make the stencil for the Sandhill. So I have created a C curve shape, and then I'm gonna cut it again, and then I'm gonna repeat the process. Kind of like if you're making two rainbows, right? We're gonna use the interior part of those C's to start on the stencil. But before we go ahead and do that, we're gonna go bring in some washi tape. And I couldn't tell you the brand of this washi tape. And you can use some masking tape if you choose to. I am strictly gonna use this cheaper washi tape. I probably bought it out of my local craft store. And I'm gonna tape down the edge of the card to my surface, and I like to use a rubber surface because it makes it really easy to clean up. So if you're using paper surface or anything else, just be sure that you're typing it down to something that you're okay getting some blending, some ink on it. And so I'm going to place that down. Once that is done, I'm going to bring in that C shape that I had mentioned earlier along with my Distress Oxide in brushed corduroy, or you can use any other ink that you want to use. We're going to start at the very bottom, and I am just going to do a very heavy part of coloring of the ink blending right at the top of that hill, and then bringing the color down to soften the hill. And again, this is a really easy and fun way to create your own little sandhill, especially if you're doing some cards with the landscaping or anything for that requires sand and clouds or grass. I mean, this could even be like a grassy knoll. So we're gonna blend all the way through, and you can see I kind of lift up right at the edge so you get that variation of color. Then I'm gonna fill in the next spot with my brush corduroy, and again, use whatever ink you got. I just like using Distress Oxide because it's really creamy, and I feel like it blends really easily without having to spend too much time. So now we're going to move on to doing our clouds. So again, I have a scrap piece of paper, and I like to use my scraps, and then I'm going to do 3 little humps, right? And we're going to grab our Distress Oxide and Peacock Feathers, and we're going to completely blend a very light shade of this onto our slimline card. And I felt that slimline card would be much easier to do with this DIY stencil, and the reason why is that those clouds can be quite big if you choose them to be. So grabbing the same peacock feathers, we're gonna really add some of this color. We're gonna press down to be sure that you get that look. And if you find that you blended way too much ink onto your cardstock, go grab a different color of blue. So we're gonna blend, and I'm just adding cloud over cloud over cloud. Then I'm gonna bring back that Distress Oxide and Faded Jeans. Remember what I said, if you're just having a hard time seeing it, go grab a little darker blue and just add some more of those clouds. And so I am loving doing this DIY blending and DIY stencils. It really allows you to create any kind of scene cards without having to have a ton of supplies. I'm going to bring in Alternate Pure White, and this is paint, and I'm just going to flicker to give it a little dimension. And I also flickered with water because it is Distress Oxide. It kind of creates those water droplets. So now that I am done here, I'm going to remove the tape from the edge, and now you have a really nice clean edge, and that tape served to one, hold your cardstock, and to create a clean edge for your slimline card. We're going to move on to doing some ink and heat embossing, and so we're going to set that aside and let it cool. I have a scrap piece of black cardstock, my Simon Says Stamp Embossing watermark ink, and we are going to stamp the Ahoy Mate. It's your birthday, and so I have that ready to go on my acrylic block, and we're going to heat set with some white Simon Says Stamp Fine Embossing Detail Powder, which is absolutely amazing because it's so fine. It really holds on down to the ink. And one of the tips I can give you is go grab some cornstarch and brush it on your cardstock to prevent any staticness from sticking. I'm gonna go grab my Fix Scars paper trimmer and I'm gonna trim 2 little strips. And if you have dies for this, I mean, obviously it'd be a lot nicer, especially if you had some stitch dies. But again, for the purpose of my video, I wanted to create a card in which you can create from home with this awesome Simon Says Stamp exclusive. So as I'm finishing that up, let me tell you about the stamp set. So for Stamptember, if you don't know, every day Simon releases a new stamp set. And it's in a collaboration with an amazing stamp company. Once it sells out, and you can't purchase it again. So what we design family makers do for you is we show you these different cards that you can make with this stamp set and hopefully give you some inspiration. And I hope you get this stamp set because I'm sure it's going to sell out quick. I have the little pirate man from the stamp set ready to go, and I have colored him in Copics, and then I fussy cut him because I didn't have the matching dies. Then we're going to use a little monkey and putting on the bottom part of that first hill. I have my treasure chest, which I'm going to put on the very second part between those 2 layers of sand. I have a cute little bird. And that will complete our scene. Again, super easy. We're going to bring in the Ahoy Mate, and I have cut those strips that I showed you earlier and added a little piece of foam adhesive onto the back. And then adding the It's Your Birthday. And I really like doing the heat embossing on white. It makes it look really cool and it makes that sentiment pop. And guys, that does it for me. I don't think this needs any further embellishment. Go ahead and paste it onto your card base and you can mail it out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this fun tutorial doing some DIY stencils using the newest release from Simon Says Stamp and SugarPea Designs. All products are listed down below in the video description. If you're new to my YouTube channel, please give the video a thumbs up and leave me a comment or questions down below. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.